Hey y'all, welcome to Sweet Tea and Butterflies. Today I am making some interesting projects using a garden fence and tumbling tower blocks. I'm also going to be using some little cutting boards and the tumbling tower blocks. So stay tuned and see what I make. This is part of the What Would You Make challenge. Our hosts are Connie's Woodshop and DIYs, Rustic and Lace DIY, and our guest host is Kathy Joe's DIYs. So when you get done watching my video, I'll have the playlist in the description box below. Go watch the rest of the playlist for all the other creators. They are all amazing. Kathy Joe is a hoot. So if you need some comic relief, definitely catch her video. So let's get to it. Here I'm taking some of the tumbling tower blocks and I've done end to end 6 tumbling tower blocks, and those fit the garden thing with the garden fence with the 2 thingies on it. Yeah, I just can't today, y'all. Don't mind me, my tongue doesn't know what it's doing. So I think I did 7 rows like this of end to end, and then I put them together side by side. So I'll show you here in a minute, because I did a second row. I didn't make you watch me do all of them, but I did a second row, and you'll see how I glue those together, and I just continue that pattern, and I believe I made 7 rows that way. But with this, with this project, you can, it's a little bit versatile. You kind of have to stick with however many blocks that you need for the back, however many portions of that garden fence that you're using. I chose to use 2, and this project was inspired by another creator, and I will leave her information in the description box below with a link to the video that I got inspired from. So she did hers a little bit different, but I decided to use the tumbling tower blocks because hers was a lot bigger. I think she used the whole garden fence. I'm making display pieces for our painted tree booths, so I needed a smaller version of what she made. So that's what I'm doing. I figured out a way to make it a little bit smaller where it would fit on the shelf to act as a riser, because our painted tree booth is basically, we got one of the shelf spaces. So now you'll see here that I took and I did another row of 6, and then I glued those 2 together, and I continued that pattern until I think I had 7 of them out. You'll see here. You can do it even for, you can make it wider if you want to. It's completely your discretion on that. So now I'm taking 2 tumbling tower blocks on each corner and starting with the legs. So I glued one to one side, and then I took and butted it up at the corner like you saw there. So I put a little bit of glue at the very bottom and then up along the edge that's going to meet up with that other block that I just glued in place. I did this all the way around each corner, all 4 corners, and then I stacked another on top of each of those. So those corner pieces are 2 blocks long, if that makes any sense. I didn't make you watch me do the second stacking of it, but you'll see here in a few minutes what it looks like. So here I decided that I needed a little bit of support in the middle as well. So I took 2 of the blocks, stacked them on top of each other, See here, you can see the corners there where I've added so that it's a little bit taller. So with this part, normally when I'm building with Tumbling Tower blocks, I usually use just wood glue because I want to make sure that it's a really secure hold. This middle portion here that I'm doing, this middle leg, it was an afterthought and I was trying to hurry up and get the project done. So I did a little bit of wood glue and a little bit of hot glue. And it came apart. When I was trying to get it set up in our booth, it came apart, so I had to go back and glue it with wood glue instead. So note to self, just, you know, skip the hot glue portion of this and do it all with wood glue. Don't use hot glue on it. But I've got those stacked up there, and I was just looking for a little bit of immediate hold so I could continue with the project, because I was doing this on a Saturday along with the other two projects I did, and I needed to have them ready by the Sunday because I was heading over to set up our booth. So I don't know why I had such a struggle trying to figure out how to do this, but I was just all over the place with this. I was flipping it here and there, and as you'll see, I'm just like, I guess I needed more than one view of it before I committed to actually putting it where I did. So the life of a crafter, sometimes we have to overthink everything. At least I do. How many of you overthink everything? You know, I mean, I guess we all have those moments, but I do a lot of overthinking. So you'll see there that I've got that glued on. And then, and here I'm building the arms to the bench. So I used 5 blocks for each arm. I did 2 end to end, and then I glued did I use 5 blocks? I used 4 blocks. Sorry, I can't count evidently. So I did 2 end to end, and then I put 1 on each end like that. And with these, you know, I used a little bit of hot glue on these. These held up fine, but for some reason those middle support ones, they came loose. So I don't know. The preference would be to use wood glue to hold all this together. So don't be me. Don't do it last minute and be in a hurry and then have to makeshift, because you end up having to go back and fix it later anyway. But as you can see, I've got, you know, the 2 there. Then I'm putting in, I just put them, you know, on there, and then I'll put them up on the project. Made sure that I had that one that's going to be in the block that's going to be toward the front. I lined up with the block for the leg that is right there. And I got all of this done, you know, glued it together, and then I went in with some Waverly's antique wax on all of the wood and everything. I did the decorating of it off camera. These garden fences, when you cut them down, there's almost no way to get where they don't have a little bit of a jagged edge on, you know, on the ends. So I took and put some flowers like they were growing and climbing up that to kind of hide that rough edge. since this is a project that I don't plan to sell, I'm just using it for display, then, you know, I was okay with doing that. I have a hard time when I'm doing stuff that I'm gonna sell with it being not perfect. But hey, it is what it is. You'll see the rest of it in the final reveal when I've got the flowers and stuff and got it displayed in our little booth. So for this one, I used 2 of these cutting boards. We've got like Dee Dee went stupid with these. I think she got them at Target, I'm not sure. But we've got like 2 or 3 cases of these little cutting boards. And I have not done near as much with them as I would like to do. But one thing I have found, the few projects that I've done with them, painting them is, I don't know, when I was doing the white paint, because I did the white paint first, because one of the paints that I'm using is an acrylic paint. So I knew that that blue was going to show through that acrylic paint unless I put like 10 layers on there. So I painted them with the Waverly White first. And when I went in and did the second coat on there, it seemed to like gum up or something. It was really weird, and I've had that issue with these cutting boards every time I've painted them and had to go in with the second coat. I've tried sanding them, and it's a mess, because then you have like blue dust or whatever color, you know, all over the place. So I'm using the crackle method on these. So I used some school glue, and when I tried to pour it out on that smaller cutting board, it just like glopped out of there. I was like, oh my lord, that's too much. So you saw where I had taken and kind of scooped some of it off on the other one. So if you like the projects that we bring to you, I ask that you subscribe, like, comment, share, search in the algorithm, and we all that are subscribers, and we were you that are new to enjoy our little craft here. So board I use lavish. I did some paint on the board. I used the Waverly Celery. Okay, so for the legs for these 2 cutting board risers, each of the legs I'm using 3 of the Tumbling Tower blocks. I've got, you'll see here, I'm kind of putting them in an H formation. And I just made sure that, you know, they were even, so that when I glued them to the board, I didn't have one longer than the other. And then I also stacked, when I made the other one, I kind of stacked on top of each other to make sure that I had the center support lined up correct on them, so that they didn't look, if that makes sense. And as you see, I'm on the little bus because trying to lit and not dropping stuff around, and it's falling apart. Well, crafting someday happen. Wait till the before you need some to actually make it in life. I have a full-time day job, so I have to do stuff in the evenings, and I have a lot going on trying to get prepared for getting set up last weekend in the painted trees. So, but it was well worth it, and we've got our booth set up, and we're really happy with it. So here's the final reveal, where you can see the finished projects there. And yeah, I know it's a little cluttered because I actually have stuff setting on them, but they are doing the job, and I am very happy with them. So again, don't forget to go check out the playlist and all the other creators' projects. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Have a great day, y'all.